Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to discuss how to color complicated backgrounds. Some of these coloring books like Bogiki and I think this is Heigi Artful, they have beautiful scenes, but the backgrounds can end up kind of being a challenge because there's so much detail in the foreground and the middle ground. And so there's a really great trick on how to color these pages so that they come out beautiful. So for example, if you've not colored a page that kind of looks like this, where you've got a lot of elements on the page, but then this background, how do you tackle that so that it doesn't ruin the rest of your page? And then same with, here's another example. So there's actually a trick to getting the background just right and making it a lot easier to get all of the other pieces colored, especially when you're dealing with markers that bleed and paper that loves to bleed. There's just some cool little tips and tricks that I want to share with you so that you can make beautiful pages and not have your background take over and ruin all of your middle ground and foreground elements on the page. So for our example, we're going to use this book. It's Mesmerized by Heigi Artful, and we're going to use this page as an example. Oops. Just hit Fudgy in the face with the coloring book. Sorry, Fudgy. All right, he's gonna be hanging out with us today. And so as usual, before I use any marker on a page, I always put down a couple sheets of copy paper behind it to protect the page behind the one that I'm coloring on. We're just gonna use one marker for the purpose of this demonstration. And let me get them out of my giraffe pencil case. So I'm just going to use this Copic Chow. It's the V05. And one of the keys to tackling a page that has this many complicated elements on it is to do your background first. So generally when I work on a page, I try to pick the main colors, not for everything, just for the bigger elements on the page. And if I've done that, great. Then my next step is to pick the color that I want for the background, because that's actually what I need to color first. If you do your backgrounds first and say ink gets into an area where you don't want it to, because you haven't colored these other areas, there's actually a cool little trick that will save your page. So being that the background does have to go into all these intricate little areas, there's way more opportunities for there to be ink bleed and there to be an issue, rather than just doing a few little petals on something. So let's color this background, and then I'm probably gonna have ink bleed because that's just how it goes. That's just part of coloring. But I'm gonna show you how to fix it and how you can end up having a great background and then a great foreground and middle ground. And already, I've got ink in a spot where I don't want it. So this is good because we can use that as an example of how to fix it. Now, especially with backgrounds that have a lot of elements in them, it can be hard to know what's background and what isn't background. So don't rush it. Take your time and think it through, especially if it has bigger sections that are going to require you to keep wet on wet so you don't end up with streaks. Take your time beforehand and really analyze the scene. And if you're still not sure, then color the elements that are boxed in like this. Do those first. And as you start to eliminate stuff that is just black and white, your brain will start to pick out the areas that should actually be background, and you can move on to the rest of the page. Okay, so I'm coming up to a larger area. Now before I do this, I just want to kind of scan and make sure that I see all the little inlets that this section has so that I don't end up overlooking it and then realizing later that I needed to color that. So it's always good to just take your time, you're not in a rush, and just make sure you know where you're going to color before you tackle a bigger element, because in these bigger areas, you need to keep wet with wet or you'll end up with a bunch of streaks. Now, if you're doing a background and you end up with a whole bunch of streaks, it's not game over. Don't worry. There's actually a lot of things that you can do with colored pencils and crayons and wax pastels, and there's lots, and then even acrylic paint pens that you can just use all of those elements to mask the things that have gone wrong And actually, it'll probably make your page look even that much more interesting. So never feel like a page is just a total waste. There's usually a way that you can fix it. So I'm just gonna come in here and start coloring all this. And if you wanna know how to fix things like this, there is a full-length Color With Me video. I'll link it in the description, and I show you how to hide all kinds of things in backgrounds. So that way you're never really stuck if you want to tackle a page that has a really complicated, detailed background that requires a whole bunch of coloring that might that might end up having streaks just because the artist made the space so big and vast and your marker coloring just can't keep up. So you'll notice I'm not coloring particularly fast. I'm just keeping wet on wet, and I'm not trying to tackle big, large chunks of the page in this section. I'm just tackling little tiny pieces, and by doing that, I'm keeping wet on wet. I'm not getting streaks. I'm not panicking. I'm still enjoying the process of coloring. And when it's all said and done, you can see how nice and smooth the end result will be. Now, another reason why I wanted to show you all this trick on backgrounds is because when you are coloring these bigger spaces, trying to keep wet on wet, you don't really have a lot of time to go super slow around things like that, like bubbles. Bubbles are super fun to color. I love them, but boy, when you're trying to color a background behind them, it can get really tricky. So that's why I wanted to make this video, is really to just help you when problems arise, because they're gonna happen. Markers bleed, paper bleeds, it's all kind of working against you. So not a big deal if you know how to fix it, and I do, so that's what I'm going to share with y'all as soon as I'm done coloring this background, which we're almost done. So if you've colored your background, and even though you kept wet on wet through the whole thing and you still end up with streaks, you're like, man, what happened here? I did my job. I worked really hard at keeping everything wet. So a couple things could be happening that you probably want to be aware of. If the marker is starting to dry out, the wet section is going to dry a lot quicker because you're not putting down as much ink as the marker used to put down. So it's going to dry much quicker and then give you streaks. Also, if it's a really cheap quality marker, some of those, they're just not going to give you a save. You're going to always have streaks because the ink isn't good quality and it doesn't know how to blend with itself. It just knows how to streak, and it kind of behaves a little bit more like a water-based marker, which is fine if you want texture. Water-based is really great for that, but if you're looking for something very smooth, you need an alcohol marker to perform better. So just a couple things to keep in mind that could be impacting why you're not getting a smooth result. But again, if that's happening to you, it's not a loss. You can always fix your page. I've got some other videos, like I mentioned, that teach you how to fix those things. If there's streaks, how to hide stuff, because nobody's perfect, no marker is perfect, things are gonna happen. And if you've spent hours on your page, you're gonna be crushed if you think that you have to scrap it. So take a look at some of my other videos and I'll teach you how to save the things that will save your pages when things go wrong. Okay, so as you can see, I've got lots of bleed where I don't want bleed. I couldn't go as slow in this area because I was trying to eliminate streaks, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And this is the reason why you do the background first, because the background's gonna touch way more elements than everything else. And in the background, you do have to go a little bit quicker than you would in any other part of the page. So when that happens, you can't be as careful and you will get bleed through. The key, again, is to not have anything colored on the rest of the page. As long as there's nothing colored on the rest of the page, you can fix this. And the answer is this beautiful little blender tool. It's 0, so no color. And what it's gonna do is behave like an eraser and literally erase the color from your page. However, there's a trick to using this. So don't just uncap it and go hog wild and just like start coloring everywhere. There's certain techniques in using this to make it perform the way you want. So I'm gonna teach you how to do that right now. So what we're gonna do is start on the bottom left corner and I have lots of little bits of bleed. I picked this color because it's bright, and the purples and reds and pinks, those are the most difficult to get rid of when it comes to removing color. So I wanted to tackle the hardest first and show you, yes, it can be done, and then you can do the easier colors as well. The trick with this is to just apply one layer and pull the color away from the rest of the color. So I had some bleed here, the color's there, I'm actually dabbing the marker and I'm pulling it away from where the color is bleeding. I'm gonna do it again here. And you don't want to put down a lot, because if you put down a lot, it's gonna bleed back into this colored area, and that is not what we want. So you just do one layer and then leave it. And it's not gonna be perfect yet. It's still gonna look messed up, but that's okay. This is just layer one, and you're just starting the process. So anywhere you see ink where you don't want it, you can just run your little blender over it. And don't do too many layers, because again, this will bleed this way, and then it's going to go in the areas that you don't want it to, and it's going to look funny. Now, it is a background, so you can easily fix this, but why give yourself more work if you don't have to? So let's just be careful on round one, and then we have less to fix later. Okay, so just take your time, analyze your page, go through it, and remove all the little spots of ink where you don't want ink. Now I'm purposely going to put down a little bit too much in a couple of spots, because I want you to see what happens. So I'm purposely putting a little bit too much in some areas, so that way it bleeds back out into the picture so you can see what that looks like, and that way you'll know what that is if it happens on your page. Now you might be thinking, wow, Tanya, you made a lot of mistakes on this page. Really, you don't look at it as a mistake. It's not really that big a deal. It's just a step in coloring with books and markers that bleed. It's just part of the process. But it's actually good that there's quite a few, because before I can come back and do another round, I need these to dry. So while I'm going through the whole page, and yes, there were quite a few bleed throughs with this color, it's allowing everything else on the rest of the page to dry while I'm working on these elements on this side of the page. So if you have a lot, don't beat yourself up, not a big deal. It's super easy to fix, and it's just part of the coloring process. Okay, so I think we're probably good for round one. I think I've caught them all. So now let's go back and just do our test. So when you touch it, if it feels cool to the touch, then it's not dry. So wait until, that's with any alcohol marker, wait until it is no longer cool to the touch. Unless you're trying to blend stuff, that's different. Of course you want to keep it wet. But if you're trying to do the blender and erase, you need each layer to dry separately. And you'll already see, boom, gone. This one almost gone. It's just a little bit wet right there. It's already erasing. I see I missed a blob right there. Round one, and that's going to happen because as you start to get rid of things, you're going to notice the other things that are still waiting to get removed. So just go back through now and add more blender, and then watch all of these little bleed throughs disappear. And if you find new ones, that's okay. Just get rid of them and then go back again and get rid of them again. No big deal. Okay, so this is what I wanted to use as an example. So you can see there's a little bit of bleed back through, so it's probably hard to see, so I'm going to make this worse. Now don't worry, I can fix this, it's not a big deal. But I am going to just go crazy in here and just lay down a whole bunch of ink so that it bleeds out more so that you can see in case this happens to you. Now you can see it is really bleeding back out into the colored area. Now, if this wasn't a background, I'd be a little more concerned because now I'm gonna have to do some shadows or something to make that look more normal. But in backgrounds, you have a lot of forgiveness. You can do a twinkle light, you can do polka dots, you can do shading. Like there's so many ways to hide mistakes in backgrounds that It's almost impossible to have a background that you don't like. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like if you put down too much in a layer. And you see how you get that dark edge? Because now the alcohol from the center of this little bubble is interacting with the alcohol that's already on the page. And it's trying to remove it, but it's also doing some really funky things. So if you want that kind of effect, great, go crazy with it. But if you really want smooth, be really careful with how much you put down, because you don't want to have all of that bleed through and then have to fix it. So you can see already in round 2, a lot of this bleed out is disappearing. A few areas will need a couple more rounds of blender, but for the most part, these areas are gone. And then once these areas completely dry, then you can come back in with whatever alcohol marker or water-based marker you want and color as if it never happened. And you can see it's pretty much gone. There's only a couple spots left that might need an extra layer of blender. But it is a bit time consuming, but I mean, it's better than ruining your whole page. So this is how I like to color more complicated pages that have a lot of elements, is doing the background marker layer first and then coming over it with the blender for all of the places where it bled where I didn't want it to. And that way I can color with a lot less stress and not be so worried about if I end up with marker in a spot where I don't want it. Because as long as there isn't marker there yet, you can remove it. And you can see this is dried now, and it made kind of a weird effect, which I'm probably just going to use that to my advantage when I work on this page. But just something to keep in mind, if you don't want something like that, then just be really careful how much blender you put down each time you go over it. And if you happen to get a little bit of bleed through back into the markered area, maybe there's just a tiny little bit, I can see just a little bit right here. Keep in mind, you're looking at this very closely, and by the time you finish coloring all the other elements on the page, no one is going to notice this tiny little hairline right here. It's just, you know, you'd have to get out a magnifying glass and look at it. So don't beat yourself up. Just enjoy the process and have fun with coloring and not worry too much if you make what seems to be a mistake. Most things in coloring can be reversed. And I have lots of videos that can teach you how to fix the uh-ohs, because they do happen. So no need to panic, just enjoy your coloring experience. Okay, well this is looking pretty good. Got just that one little spot there that's almost gone, and a little bit on this stem. But you can see we've salvaged our bubbles, we've salvaged the flowers, the leaves, everything is back to white, which is perfect because now I can add the colors that I want to this page and keep on coloring without too much fuss. So I hope this video really helped to give you more calm and confidence in coloring pages that have a lot of details on them and then have a background color. It's not impossible, it can be done, and it shouldn't be something scary. It should just be something fun and enjoyable. And if you make any mistakes where it bleeds through, now you know how to fix it. Super easy, handy tool that most marker sets come with is this Color Zero, which is our blender, and it can undo a lot of the problems that we run into when we have a lot of elements on a page with a background. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.